I've never walked across a stage before. I've never worn a cap and gown or cut a graduation cake. My high school was just happy to put me behind them. I was just another statistic in their eyes. My mom wanted me to go to college. She knew I was smart and saw something in me that I couldn't see in myself. She told me I could be something great, and she told me I could make a difference. I didn't care, though. Who cares about making a difference anyway? I graduated from high school in 2003. I wasn't invited to the ceremony. Instead, I accepted my diploma from the mailman 5 to 7 business days later. As usual, I didn't care. Who cares about ceremonies anyway? I felt an overwhelming sense of freedom, and for the first time in my life, I didn't feel trapped. All I knew was that I'd made it, and I'd never step foot in a school building again. Ever. My mother got sick with cancer not long after that. I didn't want to see her fade this way. She was so strong, an independent woman. I couldn't watch her, and I couldn't fix her, so I became distant instead. The more she suffered, the more I was forced to examine my own life and where I was heading. 2 years had gone by since high school, and nothing had changed. I knew I couldn't go out like that. Something had to give. I applied to Bunker Hill, and my mom was admitted to the hospital the same day with back pains. I was busy, and I thought I'd wait until she came home to tell her the great news. We never got to have that conversation. My mom died on the morning of September 25th, 2005, and I received my acceptance letter to Bunker Hill the next day. I would be enrolled for the spring semester of 2006. My first semester was great, with 4 classes and a 3.7 GPA. My mom was right. I am smart. But I had no family around anymore. My dad had moved out west after my mom passed, and my brother stayed in jail. So I sought love and affection in a man. Unfortunately, the man who I chose cared only about drinking, putting me down, and beating me up. In February 2007, I escaped, leaving behind everything that didn't fit in the bag with my school books. I had nobody. I had nothing, but I couldn't let him kill me. Who would tell my story then? Because of this, I had failed an entire semester of school and withdrawn from another. I was so glad my mom couldn't see this, and I imagined her disappointment in me. I took myself to a homeless shelter, desperate and afraid. I got myself a job at Dunkin' Donuts and appealed Bunker Hill's decision to suspend me for a semester. I was on a mission to prove the whole world wrong. I'm a fighter, a survivor, and I will not give up on myself. One night in the winter of 2008, I was coming in from work just as another woman was arriving to the shelter. We were informed that there was only one female bed left. It was cold outside, and that bed was mine. Impulsively, I fought the girl, and neither one of us got the bed. Just like that, I was out on the streets, barred from the shelter for 6 months. I was so alone, and I had nowhere to go. How could I be so stupid? Now I had to find benches, doorways, or corners of parks to call home for the night. The Pine Street van drove by around 1 a.m. to hand out blankets, hot cocoa, bologna sandwiches, and socks. The nights that I missed that drive-by were my coldest nights on the streets. In the morning, I would wake early, before the morning joggers and the dog walkers hit the parks. I would shower at the day shelter and eat breakfast in the soup kitchen. Then it was off to class. I was in school all day, and then I'd go to work, where I'd been promoted to the night shift supervisor. At 10 p.m., we would close the store and go our separate ways, but nobody knew I was returning to sleep alone in a park. In summer of 2009, I was finally able to get myself off the streets, and suddenly my eyes were open. I had thought freedom was mine when I finished high school, but I had it wrong all along. Real freedom will be found in my education, in my career, and in my happiness. I had been kept my own prisoner. Fortunately for me, I had made a priceless connection with a professor from Bunker Hill. Over time, this person became a mentor for me, a father figure. He pushed me forward when I couldn't find my own strength, and he became my voice of reason when my reasons became unreasonable. I owe him more than he can ever imagine. I think he may have saved my life on more than one occasion. Today, I am still a student at Bunker Hill with 5 courses standing between me and my associate's degree in psychology. Although this may be my proudest degree, I know I am far from growing into the woman I will become. My dream is to graduate from Simmons School of Social Work with a master's degree and go on to work with at-risk youth and their families. I do care about making a difference, and I do care about ceremonies. I know my mom is proud of me, and I know she will be smiling when I finally cross a stage in my cap and gown. I just wish she was here to share my cake.